Okay, before we start, I just want to say thank you. You are literally keeping me fed during all this and keeping my spirits up and everything and in between. So, um, I, I mean, I just can't thank you enough. So, I hope you enjoy this and let's get started. Both of these moves happened at around the same time. Um, I had had Kong for a lot longer than I had had Walter, and I could just never find a closer that I liked for it. Um, the closer that's on it right now is was just my temporary one until I found a better one. And then at Cardistry Con in Portland, Parker and Will convinced me that that one closer was what actually needed to be there. So you can thank them for the move that exists in its current state. So um, with Walter, I came up with Walter on squids, and I think it really helped the creative process just because of how sort of slippery squids can be, and it helped me realize what the purpose of my own move was. I think because I mean, on squids, I can bang Walter out in like under a second. It feels like just because it translates so well to that slicker surface. Um, and so I basically took that and then tried to replicate it onto cards. One thing that I'd like to mention in terms of how I came about doing Walter, I wanted to start with this packet here. I was going to do a revolution cut and then come around and grab this like that. And what really fascinated me was the slide here and then bringing that packet to where I can get it with my index. And then using that sort of natural motion that tends to happen because the index isn't there anymore. Because it's really a pinch, and then you grab that other one, and so that packet that you were pinching previously wants to come up. So I wanted to try and use that. So the problem with that, and you may be able to recognize this in your own moves, is that the part that you want to get to just simply takes too long to get into. And so as much as I really liked that position where I was able to slide this and then give me a possibility for that, I decided to try and do the responsible thing, I guess, as a cardist and do what should be done, which is get to what you want to say as fast as you want. So I ended up scrapping the rest of it and just going straight to here and figuring it out from there. And luckily, everything worked out. Um, I really like the way it has a repeating motion in it that we'll talk about, and I really like how it closes because it fits so well, and it's the I mean just the simplest thing that you can imagine, which I think makes a great closer. So let's start with Walter first. You're gonna start in this grip here. So there's a couple things happening. It looks fairly simple, and it is. The only thing that you need to take into account is the left hand, really, because what happens is you're going to lift off a packet and you're going to let it drop so that your index can clear it. We're going to start here. Yeah. Again, we're going to drop that packet down so that it clears the index. Now we're going to slide. We've got both of these fingers up here helping us. We're going to slide this and then bring our hand down so that we can grab that packet with the index finger. This packet's being held snug. The 10 of hearts packet's being held there. And now all we're going to do is we're going to make a fist in that other hand, kind of just bring the other fingers closer to us. Okay, we're going to keep going until we can drop this packet over the thumb. Okay, from here, we're going to grab it into a scissor grip. And now, really, this is a kind of weird grip that's happening on the Ten of Hearts now. We're not holding it traditionally with the thumb on the flat edge down here. We're just kind of grabbing it like that. There's going to be a lot of that in this cut. It shouldn't really work. You have to kind of make it work. So you're going to slide this Ten of Hearts up until it can flatten and then glide over the top of that queen like that. Okay, and that's kind of a weird thing that happens, especially when you're doing it fast. Open, going to grab, and we're going to slide that packet up over. And even, I mean, the Seven of Spades here is just up against that packet on bottom, really. It's not being held by any of their fingers. It drops, and now we can bring it from that flat edge of this packet, we can bring it up so that it is now able to slide as we push it. So it's going to slide. We can also bring this packet down to meet the index finger of our left hand. And now we're going to pinch and slide it. Okay, now as we do that slide, we're going to open this up. Now two things are going to happen at once. We've got this Seven of Spades here in this grip. I don't even know what you would call it, but that's what it looks like. We're going to have the Ten of Hearts up against our middle finger here and our Five of Diamonds here. We're going to slide that in. Okay, and that's another thing that doesn't really work. You have to make it work. You just align it and then push it with the thumb at the same time that you bring that back and drop it into the base packet in your left hand. You're left in this sort of grip, and you just I flatten it against my hand and just drop it like that, and that's how it closes. So again, we let that bottom packet clear the index, we slide. We want to open this up as much as possible as well. You really want a big sort of bloom to happen as you open the hands there. Okay, you bring it down, and now you want to accentuate that as much as possible because that's the first sort of big loop that it does. And then as you bring this over, this is the second big loop that it does. And then it closes. Again, those two motions that you want to accentuate is right here. Bring it around and right there. You could argue that even that is another loop around, but those are the two that you want to focus on. Okay, and that's Walter. All right, Kong. Kong is a 3-packet, and kind of like Walter, it has a simple closer that I think I'm finally convinced that it works. So we're going to start in E, and we're going to do this move here. I've got a couple moves that use that little shift. Right, it's pretty helpful for a lot of different things. It basically, all you're going to do, you're going to get this as far left as you can, or right, depending on what hand you're using. Okay, you're then going to let it rest against the middle finger. And now as you open your thumb and tilt your hand, you got to go from here to here as you sort of drop it, right? Okay, now you're going to loop underneath with your middle finger, and you're going to spin this packet between your two middle fingers. Okay, like that. Now you're going to pinch, you're going to bring your left ring and your right ring together, and you're going to pinch that packet like that in order to turn this entire structure over. Okay. Now I've got no idea how that may look on camera. You're basically going from your right hand being palm down to your right hand being palm up. That's all you're doing. I hope that's easy enough to understand. I'm not sure. But we're spinning. No other grip is changing really. You are going to bring your right middle out from underneath, and you're going to rest that queen of spades on the nail of your right index. Now you're going to bring this down, and you can let go. Now you want your hand as big as possible here. And then you're going to align those two packets and then close it. You got your left index underneath here. You're going to hold the deck with your bottom pinky basically, and then bring your index down, and then put your left middle on top and flip it like that. Okay, so we're coming in, we're bringing this over, and it flips like that. Okay, and you want to give them this moment to sort of absorb, and then as you sort of bring those two in at the same time. You don't want to be sort of letting it sit, aligning it, then closing it, then doing the flip. It's really, you can go back and see the performance of it. It's really just, it's one main thing like that. Just give it some patience and just sort of let the flow take you. You really want to do that in one beat if you can, because like, to me, that's one, that's two, and then the closer is the third. I'm going to pick those up. Okay, I'm going to go back and do the beats of Waltzer. I think that would be helpful for doing your performance and getting it just sort of fluid and accurate to the original. I think that this is one. This is two. This is three. And that's four. And you can, I mean, literally you can, just Google, an online metronome, just set it to 60 BPM, just one click per second. And literally just go through there and go, click, 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 like that. And eventually you'll get the sort of fluidity down if you really pay attention to what you're accentuating on each beat. So for this one it would be click, 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 like that. Okay, that's it. That's the download. Thank you so much for downloading it. Please enjoy the text pamphlet, including all of the packet theory and my thoughts on it, and a little excerpt from Will as well. Please, email me, DM me, tell me what you thought of it, and I'll see you next time.